5-animal Qigong, a movement meditation that gets our Qi, our life force energy, moving throughout our whole body. It comes from Wudang in China. That's where I learned it in 2012. 5 sets of movements. In each, we take our inspiration and move like a different animal in order to balance and aid a different internal organ. We have dragon for the kidneys, tiger for the lungs, leopard for the liver, snake for the stomach and spleen, and crane for the heart. I've tried to pick a suitably atmospheric day. Let's see if it's going to rain on me, and let's get started. Jayo! For those of you new here, my name's Simon. Go ahead and subscribe to receive videos and a whole range of different practices that will help bring ease in your body and in your mind. So my friends, we're starting with a warm-up for the joints, taking the feet a little wider on shoulder widths, rotating to the left as I allow the right heel to lift and swivel over the ball of the foot. The movement's initiated from the core. The arms are relaxed. They're just following the motion from the core. You can go lower to work the legs more, or come up a bit higher if you're feeling any pain in the legs. Coming to center, and now some gentle rotations of the neck. Warming up the joints allows the Qi to flow. Aligning the joints is a big part of Qigong. Here are some shoulder circles, outward then inward. And some wrist circles. Elbows. Here I'm opening the chest, shoulder blades together, and then rounding the upper back and shoulder blades moving apart. Some hip circles. Moving on to the knees. And lastly, rotating the ankles. Here I've moved into some swimming dragon. Check out my tutorial on how to do swimming dragon. It's a wonderful opener for the shoulders and the hips. Finishing up by just shaking any tension out of the body. I'll break down each animal in turn. At the end, you'll see the whole demo, and I'll share some extra tips. I would encourage you not to force yourself to listen to your body. We're taking our inspiration from animals, and animals never strain or force themselves. The first animal in the sequence is dragon. We'll break it down in a moment. For now, you'll notice a twisting action. That's what helps squeeze out any toxins from the kidneys. The opening of all the animals starts with the arms lifting and coming back down. So the palms face down, like you're rolling a rolling pin forward, and then they come up with the wrists and elbows heavy. If there's an imaginary wall in front of me, I'm dragging the backs of the hands along the wall and then the palms as I come down. Moving on to the feet. So in dragon, we use what's called a bow stance. Front foot straight or 10 degrees in, back foot 45 degrees. 60% of my weight is on the front foot. So it's a martial arts attacking pose. Right here, I place my hands on my stomach so I can concentrate in the feet, and I'm just practicing the bow stance side to side. Notice I'm not leaning forward, leaning back. The torso is upright. So here we're starting, feet facing forward, the hands coming up, what's called heaven and earth in Qigong. Then we come to hold the ball with the right arm on top. We're gathering our energy together as we're holding this imaginary ball. and then we rotate, stepping into bow stance. Come back to center, holding the ball with the other hand on top, and now bow stance the other side. That's one complete repetition, and we do 3 repetitions. The arms are lengthening, straightening as much as you can here, and you're avoiding arching the back. We circle the hands, bring them down the midline of the body to rest in a centered position, with the hands in front of what's called the lower dantian, which is just below the belly button. And the hands come into this interlocking position, 3rd and 4th finger join with the thumb, and then take a 3rd and 4th finger and thumb of the other hand, and they interlock around it like I'm showing. Tiger is for the lungs. You'll see it shares the same opening movements with the arms. And here I'm exhaling as I sink down, the hands come forward, inhaling hands back to the chest, and then exhaling the hands behind me, inhaling back to center. The feet are stepping into what we call horse stance. So the feet face the same direction forward, and you sit back, keeping the knees over the ankles. Any pain in the knees don't come as low. You can also turn the feet out slightly. Let's practice Tiger together. Opening movements of the arms. Then I'm starting to shift weight on my right foot to step my left foot up, and then exhale, sink forward with hands in Tiger claws. So the Tiger claw hands have the fingers and thumbs tightly bent. Then I rotate the wrists, I pull the hands back towards me on an inhale, keeping the fists close to the chest as I pass for an exhale. That gives a real stretch, opening of the chest, shoulders, extends the lungs. Centering, hands down, midline of the body to meditation position. Normally spend at least a few minutes in the meditation position between animals. Moving on to Leopard. Begins the same way, lifting and letting the arms fall. Then lifting the arms to come to hold the ball. I'm going to freeze here. So we're holding this imaginary ball in front of our lower dantian, the energy center just below our belly button. And holding the ball is like gathering our energy right in our core center, getting ready to move it off throughout the body. I've slowed the next bit down so you can see clearly what's happening. So as I'm rotating to the left, my bottom arm is sweeping out, bending, and then coming over the head, and I look towards the top hand, which is now flexed. Then the arms circle and I step back to a centered position. The steps are out to the side into horse stance, and then back together. Again, only go as low as your knees feel comfortable. If you get any compression, pinching at the crease of the hip, then again, don't go as low. Notice we get this side bend, and that helps the liver. The snake sequence massages the stomach, and it's almost everybody's favorite. So let's pause here. We've rotated to the right here, and we're in what's called a hanging stance, which means our heel is lifted on the right foot and most of our weight is on the left foot. As the right hand slides up and past the left hand rotates to have palm downward. So now we have both hands with the palm downward and the top hand is slightly flexed. From here, the bottom hand slides down past that left foot as we start shifting our weight over to the left, keeping as low and slithery as possible in order to come up on the other side. And the right arm sweeps past the ear to become parallel to the bottom left arm. I recommend you only practice this once or twice on each side at a time, and then stand up, shake out your legs, give yourself a break. You can also practice it by not coming as low, so really listening to your glutes and your thigh muscles and not overdoing it. The idea here is we're trusting the ground. We're not holding ourselves up, but we're letting ourselves sink and sliding over like a snake. Crane is the last animal in the sequence. It's a great opener for the heart. See, it's also involving balance. So we start by shifting the weight onto one foot as we hover and lift the other foot, extend the leg, and then bring it round the side to the back, keeping the chest open as we then bend up the lifted leg at the back. The arms are extended to the side. That can help the balance. And as we reach into the flying crane pose, we can imagine ourselves soaring high over the lake and clouds. Something that helps balance is steadying the gaze on a single point. Also feeling the standing foot grounding downwards. My tutorial on extended hand to foot will help both balance and strengthening the hip flexors so you can extend the leg out in front of you at the start of the movement. So the back bend that comes opens the chest and gets the blood flowing to the heart. And we finish here with 3 arm circles as it's a closing of our 5 animal Qigong. And we usually spend a little longer in the meditation centered stance. Let's see the whole sequence from a different angle, and I'll share some tips for your own practice. So the first tip I'd share would be to film yourself and then look back over the films in order to see what you're doing. So I learned this in a martial arts school, and it was pretty much all I did for 8 hours a day for, well, almost 2 months. So there's only so much you can pick up from a video, and by recording yourself, it will give you another perspective. Sometimes we're sensing our body might be in a position, say that our spine is upright, and then we look at the video and find, oh, actually we're arching our back or we're flexing forward. So that's the first tip. Second tip would be to have patience with yourself. You know, these martial arts forms, they were typically passed down once the student proved themselves worthy. So we'd teach you a little bit and you'd practice that, And once you start to get some feeling of that, they will give you the next piece. So in this era of internet and YouTube, it's awesome in allowing us to try different things. On the other hand, we can't expect to master something in days. It takes practice. Something else I'd recommend, as you practice this, it can be useful to hold the animal in your mind's eye. So as you're breathing in the tiger sequence, you can imagine a tiger, how they look, how they move, and channel that quality into your movements. And that can be a great mindfulness practice to get ourselves out of our overthinking head. Here's a little treat for those of you who've made it to the end. Some serene Swiss scenery to the gentle tones of Ennio Morricone. Stay well, my friends.